So is this the funkiest, hippest, coolest blues bass line ever? Check it out. Woo! So that is the amazing bass line found in Don't Know What It Means by Tedeschi Trucks, featuring the incredible Tim Lefebvre on bass. I hope I pronounced that right. So in today's video, I'm going to take apart the 3 bass lines found in this song. I'm also going to give you a free PDF so you can download them in standard notation and tab. Before we get going, I've got a really quick favor to ask. If you enjoyed this video, please can you subscribe to the eBassGuitar YouTube channel? This will mean more than you know, because the more subscribers we've got, the more we can keep growing the reach of the eBassGuitar YouTube channel and keep putting out great free bass guitar content like this. So please hit that red button, which is somewhere around this video. So Don't Know What It Means is based upon a 2-bar riff in the key of E minor. And the thing in my eyes which makes it sound super cool is it does not start on the first beat of the bar. That is the first thing you need to check out. So it's this: 3, 4, 1. So make sure you appreciate that to begin with, because that for me is what puts the funk in there. So the next thing is the bass line is almost inverted. Let me tell you what I mean by that. It starts off with what I would normally hear as the fill up at the top end of the instrument, and then goes down to the root note at the end of the bar. Check this out. And again. So you've got this fill here, and then you've got the main hook of the bass line here, down at the bottom. So let's take that apart. So just off the first beat of the bar, you have this bass line. And that is simply a C sharp going to an E there on the G string. So fret 11 and fret 9 on the G string. So C sharp, E, C sharp, E, and then back to the C sharp again. And it's got this lovely, swingy, funky 16th feel to it. So try and get that lilt in there. So it's 3, 4, 1. And again, 3, 4, 1. And then it goes to the hook or the root part of the bass line, as I like to think of it. And that is simply... And so you want to jump down to a D natural at the 5th fret on the A string, and then up to the E there on the 7th fret of the E string, and then hit the open E there. Now the trick with this open E is to keep it nice and long. There's a tendency, particularly when you're playing a 4-string bass and you often put your thumb on the E string to cut that note short. So you really want to get that full length. So you have to move your hands away from the instrument like so, that a little bit. So let's just play that bar again. And again. So that's the first bar that you need to get. Now the second bar is subtly different. It is this. So the first bar, the bit that I like to think of as that little fill, stays exactly the same. And then we go back to the D. So we go D, E, D, E, and then end on beat 4. And you're playing 8th notes. 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2. Put the whole bar together, you get this. And again. So subtle differences between the first bar and the second bar of the riff, but it makes all the difference. So in isolation, let's just put those 2 bars together. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And the last little detail that I love to do is on the very first note is slide into it. Adds all the difference. So let's play it with a drum track so you can hear it in context. So that is the first riff of the song. If you want to see everything we're discussing today written out in standard notation and tab, I'm going to put together a free PDF which goes with this lesson. You can find the link in the description below this video where you can download it completely free. Now we move into section 2, which is the pre-chorus. Check it out.
Now you left your window open just to keep your spirit rolling, but you're hoping that your mind will close the door.
There's the pre-chorus, which is 8 bars long. And what you hear Tim Lefebvre does is he moves away from playing this really funky riff to something which is more root note based, which allows it just to be simpler and breathe more. So check this out. So let's talk about the chord sequence first. The chord sequence is really simple. It's a bar of E minor, a bar of B minor, and then 2 bars of A, and then that repeats, and that makes up our 8 bars. It is largely all root notes, but he's doing this wonderful offbeat patterns throughout it, but he's changing them up every single bar. So there's plenty of space to have a play with this one. Grab the PDF and you can see exactly what he does there. I've transcribed it for you. But if I was to put one simple pattern to this, this is what I would play just to keep it simple. What I would do is I would play 4 8th notes, like that to begin with. Then I would play 2 offbeat notes, and I'd do this. And that would be the general pattern that I would learn first, and then I'd run that through the chord sequence. So it sounds like this. And then once I've internalized that, I would then start to improvise on it a little bit. Miss notes out, add notes in, the choice is yours. But it's largely based on root notes. And then just at the end of the 8th bar, there's this lovely little fill that he puts in to get to the next section, which sounds like this. So try and work out a nice little fill that you can put in there too. Now, something really important about note lengths, he has this really lovely chuggy forward feel motion to it, which sounds like bum, bum. And that comes from making those notes nice and short. Now, the simplest way I find to do that is if I'm playing a fretted note, I would just gently lift my hand off the fretboard like so, or release the string rather, that's more accurate. So you can see that there. But the challenge can come doing that on the E string or the open strings. So what I do is I do it with my right hand and I will stop the next note with my next finger. So when I'm playing alternate fingers, so I go play the first note with my first finger and then stop it with my second to get ready to play it and then strike. And what you can do is you can control the note length or articulation like that. So that's a really cool little exercise to practice. So let's hear the pre-chorus along with the drum track. So that's the pre-chorus. My advice again is to learn one simple 1-bar rhythmic pattern to begin with and then superimpose the detail upon that, which you can find in the free PDF which comes with this lesson. Remember, there's a link to grab your free PDF in the description below. So let's move into our final section, the chorus. Let's check it out.
When you're drowning in the fire, the hope you had helped you on the way. If the story feels exactly like a dream, don't know what it means, things ain't what they seem, and you can't just turn the page and let it go. Things that you've been told are deep down in your soul. Now don't
Let's
let
take apart the chorus section now. First of all, let's start off with the chords. It is a bar of G, a bar of A, 2 beats of C, 2 beats of D, and then another bar of G like so. And then exactly the same thing again, bar of G, bar of A, 2 beats of C, 2 beats of D, and then a G at the end. Then rhythmically, there is a stop on beat 3 to take us back into the next section. I'll talk about that in a second. But the basic groove I want you to play is the same to begin with. So over the chord sequence, simply do this. Dun, 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 bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. Then just play through the C and the D, that'll be fine. And then back to the G. And then if you play that pattern throughout it, you'll learn the chord sequence, or you'll learn the vibe behind it. Then start putting in the detail. And what you hear Tim Lefebvre does here is he starts putting just a little bit more movement and fills in between the chords. Now an example of this can be going from the A to the C. So you simply get ba 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 ba, using that B to go from the A to the C. So a little passing note in there. And then the C. And then what I suggest you do on the C is play 4 Cs. Move your first finger up to the D, and then he has this lovely little pattern here. Da, 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 da. And he starts putting in more 16th notes here, which really bring out that lovely swingy 16th funky feel which is going on. So it's lovely pattern on the G here. So get the G up the octave, so it's da 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 ba da ba da, and that falls directly under the first finger. And then at the end, so you have this landing on beat 3, and then just to get you back into the thing, you have this like so on beat 4. And then we go back into the pattern, and he'll hear this beautiful chromatic passing note to get from the G to the A. 2 B's there, and then the lovely thing he does when we hit the C here, rather than this chugging feel, he starts to play the C and the D longer, so like that. Just notice those little details, they really do make a difference, and it just gives it a little more breadth and life to that, and release as well. So again, and then a lovely little fill. There we go. So all those little fills fall really beautifully under the hand. They're written out in the standard notation and tab which come with this. So make sure you check this out. So I'm going to play that along with the drum track now so you can hear it all in context. So there you go, they're the 3 bass lines to Don't Know What It Means. All incredible grooves in themselves, but make sure you check out that first 2-bar riff. It's a prime example of how the funk feel can work really nicely over blues. So check it out. I can't resist finishing this lesson with having another jam on that 2-bar E minor groove found over the verse. Really have some fun with that, and I'll catch you soon. So there we go, that's today's lesson. If you've enjoyed it, please do head on over to eBassGuitar. Check out the Basslab Plus. The Basslab Plus is my private members area where you can learn all the skills behind playing the bass lines you love. It's a step-by-step program which will take you from playing right from your very first notes all the way up to being an advanced bass player and playing incredible grooves just like this one. I'd love you to take it for a test drive, so I put a link in the description below where you can take it for a test drive again for a free 14-day trial. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com. Catch you soon.